Shalom, everyone. I'm happy to be presenting as part of the Footsteps of Our Fathers project. And we are going to be learning together today the Mishna in Pirkei Avot, the first Perek, Mishna Yud Daled. So this is part of the number of statements of Hillel HaZaken. And Hillel HaZaken is a very important figure in Jewish history and for us, right? After all, Hillel Torah, that's the name of our school, is after Hillel. Who was Hillel? Hillel was one of the greatest leaders in the time of the second Beit HaMikdash, the end of the second Beit HaMikdash. He was the beginning of the scholars of the Mishna. And Hillel was from a very prestigious family, but he himself was very poor. And there's a famous story that he earned the equivalent of $1 a day in his job, schlepping water, and he used to spend half of it in order to get admitted to the Beit Midrash so he could learn. And one day when he didn't have enough money for getting into the Beit Midrash, he climbed up on the roof and he was listening in through a window on the roof, and it started to get cold and snowed, and it got dark. And the people said, "Why is it so dark in the Beit Midrash?" And they went up and they found Hillel all frozen up on the roof. And we see from here the famous story shows us about the dedication of Hillel to Torah study. Let's see what the Mishnah says. This is one of the most famous Mishnayot in Pirkei Avot, and many people quote it. They don't even realize that it comes from a Jewish source. It comes from Pirkei Avot. And let's just read it, and then we'll discuss it for a few minutes. Hu haya omer. So who is referring to Hillel? Hillel used to say, Im ein ani li, mi li. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? Uchshani la'atzmi. And when I am for myself, ma ani, what am I? And if not, v'im lo achshav. Let me move my picture. V'im lo achshav, ematai. And if not now, then when? So let's go back and think about what this Mishnah. First of all, you could see the structure of the Mishnah is interesting. It's three ideas, right? Let's go back. Wait, let me do this here. Let's go back. Three ideas, and the three ideas are not said in the form of statements, things that you're supposed to, telling you do this, or this is what you should think, or this is the right way. Rather, it's three questions. Isn't that interesting? Hu haya omer, he used to say, but really he used to ask. He was saying something in the form of asking you questions. Im ein ani li, mi li. If I'm not for myself, who is for me? And if I'm only for myself, shani la'atzmi, then ma ani, what am I? Im lo achshav, and not now, when? So what's the point? Let's think for yourself here. Why do you think Hillel was saying his teachings in the form of questions rather than the form of answers? Why was it more powerful? Why is this one of the most famous Mishnayot, thinking about the way he's saying it in the form of a question as opposed to just telling you something? I know for me, the question is very powerful because I have to answer it myself. It's not something that someone's just telling me something and I have to say, okay, but someone's asking me something and it makes me think for myself, well, what do you think the answer to that is? If I'm not for myself, who is for me? That's interesting. That makes me think. And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, then when? So it sort of leaves me with a thought and makes me think even more. So it's very, very powerful, just even the way the Mishnah is written. And if we look at what the Mishnah is saying, let's try to delve into that. So we're usually taught, since we're young, that we always have to care about other people. The value of chesed. Avram Avinu, chesed. He helped others, right? Or imahot, they helped others. So much of what we learn as even part of a Jewish community is we have to help others. And what Hillel starts off by teaching us is, well, that's true, but im ein ani li, if I'm not also for myself, then mi li, who will be for me? So in addition to caring about others, the starting point of the Mishnah, and we have the cute little boy pointing to himself, if I don't think about myself also, then who will? So we first need to actually think about ourselves. And this is an important value of the Torah. You have to love yourself. You have to care about yourself. We learn the famous teaching. It's also Hillel would teach this as well. And so did Rabbi Akiva would focus on this, right? Of the pasuk in Vayikra, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. love your neighbor like yourself. What does that mean? We always think that means you have to help everyone and love everyone. But if you think about the pasuk, it means kamocha, like yourself. You first have to think about yourself. You first have to love yourself. You first have to have positive self-esteem. So it starts with taking care of yourself, making sure that you're doing the right thing, making sure that you have what you need. Because if you don't, then you won't be able to help anyone else. So first you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, you're doing the right thing. And then, me, says Hillel, but if I'm only for myself, then what am I? So it's not enough for me to be for myself. Then I could get selfish, I could get self-absorbed, I could be totally egotistical and only be thinking about myself. I also need to think about others. And that's this idea of balance that you see in Hillel, right? I need to really care about myself first. I need to make sure that I could survive, that I have what I need, that I have what I need to do mitzvot, I have to keep the Torah, to help other people, but it can't stop there. I also need to help other people and not just be for myself. And this is one of the most important teachings of Judaism, is that we always care about our community. We don't live isolated. We don't just live alone. Even now in COVID, we're not just living, even though we're physically in our homes, we're thinking about other people. We're doing chesed. We're helping other people. We're reaching out in other ways. Jews are always finding ways to help others, and not even just Jews, thinking about all people, all humanity in the world. What could we do to help other people? And it's this balance that actually Hillel was famous for, and that's one of the reasons why, in terms of Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai, all the famous arguments between the Beit Midrash of Hillel and the Beit Midrash of Shammai, we almost always go like Beit Hillel, and part of the reason is, says the Gemara, because they knew how to balance between the commitment to Torah and mitzvot and the commitment to other people, to this balance. So this is one of the most important teachings that we ourselves at Hillel Torah should think about as students at Hillel Torah, as part of our Hillel Torah community. How could we take the teaching of Hillel to, at the same time, think about taking care of ourselves and doing our own avodah Hashem, and at the same time taking care of other people and not being too much one way or too much another way. And finally, the third question that Hillel leaves us with is, if not now, when? And this applies, of course, to Torah and mitzvot, and it applies to everything in life. It's always easier to push something for tomorrow. It's always easier to procrastinate, right? Maybe it's not perfect now. I want to wait till tomorrow where I could do it better. You know what Hillel says? Do it now. There's no time like the present. One of the most famous teachings, and really it's Hillel who said it, that there's no time like the present, especially when it comes to mitzvot, especially when it comes to thinking about the relationships, something you want to say to someone, you want to apologize to someone maybe for something you did, you want to tell someone how you feel, how much you care about them, how much you appreciate them. Don't wait till tomorrow. There's no time like the present. So these are the three teachings of Hillel. Let's just review it. Hu haya omer, in ein ani li mili. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? Uchshani la'atzmi, if I'm only for myself, ma ani, what am I? V'im lo achshav, and if not now, when? This is the teaching of Hillel. Thank you for tuning in to Footsteps of Our Fathers, Pirkei Avot project of Hillel Torah between Pesach and Shavuot. And we wish everyone a healthy and a safe rest of the day. And good luck as we look forward and prepare for Matan Torah.